Hello all, and welcome back to the next episode in our Factory Builder series. Due to an issue a previous viewer had with the electrical cables not connecting properly, I do want to revisit them, and that's what I'm going to do in this episode. Now, the reason is, you got to remember, I'm coding this off the top of my head as we go. It's probably not always the best and most optimal. But it just goes to prove that, you know, you can do things on the fly, and sometimes it might be the better way. You might have some ideas and jot it down, don't get me wrong, but you can't plan an entire game sitting there using flowcharts. Your time would be stupid. You'd never get anything done. So code away, and then when you hit obstacles and bridges and things like that, then you work around them as you go. Someone once said that, you know, for 90% of the time, 90% of your game will be broken, and that is true, because things can change. You might add something new into an object and you might completely break everything. Very easily done. So my idea now is to change first the cables, electrical cables. So we're going to open that up first. So if we open up our electrical cable here, okay, now I do not want this cable doing anything, nothing at all. It's basically just going to store whether it's powered or not. Yeah, it might store its power usage, which might be useful, and obviously it stores the actors that it's connected to, but I don't want it checking anything for power. Okay, so I don't want it ticking. There is nothing going to tick on this. In fact, I'll probably start this act with tick disabled. So the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect this tick. Yeah, nothing there. And if you click on here, onto your base class here, start with tick enabled, leave it off. Okay, we do not want it to tick. Okay, that's going to just reduce overheads. Depends if you have a lot of cables, which is a potential to have a lot. Overlap, again, plate. Yeah, so basically none of that is actually needed. Okay, I'll probably delete that, but let's just leave it there for now. Make sure we don't go completely wrong. All right, so what we're going to do, how are we going to do this? We're going to use the connectors to actually do the work. So the connectors we add onto the generator and onto the inputs on the objects. So check for power is no longer going to run. Set connections. Now this one I believe I don't use anywhere. Let me just in the yes, we don't use it anymore. So again, there's going to be nothing in here, not even in the construction script. It's not doing anything. We had events for connecting the cables, which will still fire, so that's fine. They're just events. They will fire when they need to fire. Yeah, nothing more, nothing less. And cable end, yeah, that's just them connecting up. That's just used for the builder tool. So at the moment, this cable's now dumb because there's nothing going on event tick. Nothing at all. In fact, let's just get rid of it. There we go. Nothing there. And the tick is turned off. Let's compile that. Okay, so the cable's dead. It's not going to do a single thing. What we want to do now is open up our electrical connector base. Yeah, this is the one that will be sending all the information through to the cable. Okay, so again, this one's constantly checking for power. I don't want to constantly check for power, and I'll show you why in a moment. But right, so in our event graph on tick, all it's doing is checking for power. We're not going to do it. Okay, and let's go into check for power. And what's it doing? It's getting the connected cable and it's setting the power. Yeah, but we don't need to do it that way. There is a better way, a much better way. There probably will be a tiny bit of code on the electrical cable, and it'll just be something to help notify that something's happening. So let's have a look at all these. Why has this got a hood widget? Does this need a hood widget? I can't remember what that was for. I think it might be for the icon. Connected cable, the direction of the port. We're not using this direction of the port, and I really should instead of the tags. I could just use this to detect it, shouldn't I? Parent supply is powered, parent actor, and they're connected. Right. So now the electrical connector is dead. We've just took away everything. Let's get rid of this. Check for power. Okay. So how are we going to tell that this has power? Okay. Now there's two ways of doing this. Now the generator itself will tell these that it has power. So we need to open the generator up. So let's just click on there and edit BP generator. Okay. So that's just the fan speed. It keeps showing you that, but it's not out there. What I might be doing is I might put the whole of this project up for you to download in case you've got a bit confused with anything, and you can have a look and see where things might be going wrong. So what's happening on this? This one's checking if the generator's activated and it's running code if it is. Yeah. Now that one will have to stay. That will run on tick. Because that's the generator code. Yeah. And this one here I'm not so sure about. So that again I might do a notify. So I'm just going to disconnect it for now. So on the generator tick, let's just have a look what's on generator tick. Okay, so in generator tick we check if it's for activated, which we're doing twice now. Oh no, we're just sending it through, sorry, my mistake. So generator tick, it rotates the fans. That's by the by, that doesn't have to be there if you haven't got fans. So we're basically changing whether it's powered or not, or we're just in the fuel, and that's all it's doing. And then this here is setting the electrical connectors whether they're powered or not. Okay, now this is going to change. I do not want this happening every time, and we'll show you why in a minute. So, or I'll show you how in a minute. So for now I'm just going to do the unthinkable and disconnect that. So that's now not doing anything. Okay, so it's not setting any of the connectors. We're totally breaking this, by the way. So my apologies. But like I said, I will probably put this project up for download at some point soon. Hopefully today, maybe tomorrow. So now we've done that. All we're doing now is we're setting these variables, yeah, to whether they're powered or not. So, you know, the generator might be activated, but and then it has no power, yeah, and so forth. So now we have a variable called powered here. Now, is that a local variable? Yes, it is. That's a local variable. Now, is there a variable actually in here? Activated. We'll use activated, as activated seems to be the one that we're going with. So, right, we're going to use a little bit of magic here. I'm not sure if anybody have done anything to do with multiplayer. Now that you can set variables to be detected when they're changed, because variables can be changed by the server, and you're not going to be able to know every single eventuality that the variables can be changed by a server in a multiplayer game. So you have a thing called replication, which sends out details to all the clients that it needs to send it to, and then they act upon it as required. But what a lot of people don't realize is you can use one of them in a single player game, and one of them is a thing called rep notify, which is basically you could take a variable like this and you could set it to detect a change in that variable. Okay, so we're going to do that now, and this is the one we're going to use, the activated. Yeah, so when this changes, we're going to get it to detect, and the way you do that is you just highlight it here, come across, and see this replication, change it to rep notify. Now I believe it adds a small overhead in RAM per variable, and whether it's true or not, I heard it could have been about 4 kilobytes, but to be honest, 4 kilobytes isn't a hell of a lot unless you're using thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of objects that use it. Sorry, variables that use it. So don't worry too much, because I don't think we're ever going to get to that level in this type of game. But bear that in mind if your aspirations for your game are bigger. But I can't see us succeeding that anywhere or causing any problems. So that's if that's true. It's just what I've read somewhere. So I'm going to compile that. So what happens is it creates a new function called onRep, which is on replication, be activated, which is the name of the variable, be activated. Yeah. So what I want to do is cut this code out. So if I cut, and then I go into this new function here, and actually I can't, no, you can't give these no, that's a shame. You can't give them a category to help segregate them. Never mind. So this function was created by the system, and it calls, let's paste that stuff in, it calls when that variable changes. Okay, now we're going to be manually changing that variable, or it's going to be done automatically when the fuel goes. Yeah. So what we're going to do now, before I connect this, I'm going to just do a print, and in this we will say let's do an append, not append, append string. There we go. Plug that in there, and we will say generator activated colon and a space, just to give us a bit of space, and in there we'll plug in a notified variable. As you notice, it's now got this to say that it's replicated, yeah, and that there's code going on in the background. So there we go. That's what we're going to do. So let's play the game. All right, and hopefully now he says we'll come along, we'll come up to our generator, and we'll go, right, Mr. Generator base activated, and it didn't work. Okay, so rather strange happening here, which I didn't realize. It appears that user intervention, changing a variable, i.e. using the panel here in editor, doesn't fire rep notify. Now I've tried to use rep notify in the past and it's never worked, and this is probably why, because I do my testing here by clicking this activated button. Yeah, it's working, but it's not notifying anything when I change it. If you see, there's no message coming up. But what I did is I added in an event that allows me to toggle the generator on and off in the editor, so it uses code instead. So all I've done is activate generator and set the variable this way, and then the rep notify will work. Look, so all I do is set it to the opposite of whether it's activated. So if it's activated, it'll be not activated. If it's not activated, it will be activated. Yep, using a not boolean. We've covered that before. So now if I hit active generator, there we go, and again there we go. So it works in if it's done in code. So changing it in here doesn't. So that's why I've got that here now, because I'm going to use this for testing. So I'm going to leave this in for the time being. So basically now that notifies the variable whether it's on or off. Yep. Okay. So back into our generator base. The tick isn't going to change. Yeah. I'm not sure about the check power required at the moment, but we've now got that changing. So what we need to do is go back into our rep notify. There we go. Rep be activated. Let's get rid of this. Or let's not get rid of it. Let's disconnect it. ALT click. Oh, still running. Duh. ALT click. Let's just drag this out of the way. That's for debugging purposes. Now what we want to do is this is where we want to change these connectors on and off. Yeah, and we need to set those to powered. Now powered doesn't exist in this context. I'm surprised it hasn't come up with a problem. So all we're going to do is drop activated on there. Yeah, so powered is the same as activated. Once it's on, it will be powered. Once it's off, it won't be. Compile and save. Okay, so that all we've done here now is we've used this variable then to use whether it's powered or not, because that's basically what it is. When the generator is activated, it's generating power. When it runs out of fuel or you switch it off, it's deactivated, it's not generating power. It's as simple as you can get. So we're using a notified variable called be activated, rep notify, don't need to change the replication condition, and any code that modifies this will fire this function. Yeah. So now we can now detect all of that within the electrical connector, yeah, because that's what this is doing. So we're setting them on. Once we're doing that, as soon as that has power, I think that's what it's called, isn't it? We're setting powered on the electrical connector. So powered. See this, why have I got powered and has power? Did I have a problem here? I'm going to probably remove this one, but this is the one I'm looking at, be powered. Yeah. So we're now going to rep notify this exactly the same. So this be powered is now going to have a rep notify, which will generate this. Yeah. So what this does now, instead of using this check for power, which we will delete, it will fire this event when it has power. Yeah. And that's all it's going to do. So it's then on here, we need to see if it's got a connected cable. So we need to do a get, and we need to convert to a validated get to make sure it's valid. And then this connected cable, we can then set the oh, let's drag off here. Set is it powered? Yeah. And that's what we're doing. And we're setting the powered to be powered. So it will notify and set that. Okay, so this one is rep notified again. Sorry, where was it? It's powered. Yeah. And if there's a connected cable, we don't need to check if it is connected. If there is connected cable, we'll change it to powered or not. So let's see if that works now by monitoring our cable. So let's run the simulation, the game, whatever it is you want to call it, the prototyping, and we're going to add a cable in, and we're going to connect it there, and we're going to connect it there. Okay, so let's turn off the shift F1. Right, as you can see, the generator is not on, it's not running, and the cable is not powered. Yeah, not powered whatsoever. So generator, I'm going to activate the generator. The generator is now on and the cable is not powered. What have I done? Have I changed something wrong here? It's not powered. Why is it not powered? Why did it not run? Let's check in the cable. Hello, future me here. Unfortunately, I found out that rep notify only works on a server base or with authority. So a lot of the funking around I do for the next few minutes, I'm going to fast forward through and jump to the realization. I don't 100% realize why, but I do realize it can't be done using rep notify. So yeah, we're not going to use rep notify. We're going to jump straight into just using a standard function instead, that which will catch the change in the variable rather than setting the variable direct. So back to the video. Is it because it's been set from somewhere else and not directly on the component? Now, I would hate to have to forcefully do that. I'd hate to have to do that. It's just, I'm just making this function to see if, rather than setting the variable directly, whether I have to use a variable. But what this does is circumvents the need for a notify then. But I just want to see if that works there. So go back into the generator and we will do instead, what did I call it? I called it switch on power. So from here, switch on power. Now this will negate the need for a rep notify. Let's just move that out of the way. It's not going to be doing anything. It's not connected. So let's come along. Press 1, connect, okay, close. So let's now shift F1, get to the generator and switch her on, and there we go. But then it's firing rep notify, so it can only notify when it's set directly with its own class. It can't be notified from something external. That seems to be the only thing that's stopping it, which now negates the need for rep notifying here, because I'm already getting a function that I'm calling, which I can already do to set whichever code. So I'm going to turn the rep notify off, so none, because it can't be used. There's no point, and we're just going to set it on using this switch on. Bit of a pain in the butt. I thought rep notify was going to save our day, but instead, to be honest, all rep notify is doing is creating another function anyway. So maybe this is probably the better way around it. Use these to switch on power. So let's come in here. Let's get rid of those. I don't know if they copy when I copy and paste things. So if I Control X and switch on power, it's there. Keep trying to right click. So get connected cable. There. Okay. So now we should have a working cable. So it kind of defeats some of the objects of what I wanted to do in this, but never mind. So let's connect that to there. All that. Let's shift F1, come to our Jenny, and we'll power it on. And we should see that our electrical cable is powered, which it is. Perfect. And what that should do now is allow us inside the cable to do the same thing. But we don't want to do it on check for power. Now we're going to have the same problem here. So we're setting be powered on here. Let's just try it, and we'll set this to rep notify. Okay, we get our event, yeah, and we're going to just print. We'll just leave it as hello. I don't care what it says. So connect our cable and activate our Jenny, but it doesn't work. So rep notify doesn't work across variables changed by external source. So like I said, that's not too much of an issue. I'll undo this rep notify. So it doesn't work across objects, which is a bit poor, to be honest. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore, so we'll delete that. So we're not going to check for power anymore, like we've already deducted it. And what we're going to do is just use a function instead to enable power. And all this is going to do is, with an input, is change the power based on that. But then what it's also going to do is boom, 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 boom. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We want to also set any connected objects on the B actor, don't we? So if power is enabled, we want to do a validated get on the end connector. Yeah. And we also want to set the power through to that. And again, we're going to have to use some sort of function to do so. So let's open up our light, because that's the only one we've got at the moment that's actually doing anything. So lighting, let's open it up. I've also already unhooked the event tick here. We don't want to check for power. Right. So this one, I've done a rep notify and it didn't work. So it's gone. And is powered, is no longer replicated. Okay. We're just going to add in here and put switch power. And that will have on as a boolean. Okay, so all we're going to do is, not switched on, is powered. There we go, set that. And if that's the case, we're going to switch the light. Yeah, and that should detect then. There's no code now on tick on any of these objects that don't need it. Okay. So, done that. We need to put into the cable that we need to end B actor. End B actor as type actor. We don't know what it's connected to, do we? This is where it gets a bit of a problem. So, yes, we've hit a slight problem. This is where we need to know what the base actor is. Now, this field like base needs to derive from the same class as our building base, because everything needs to be in the building base. So what we're going to do is modify our building base. So hope this is not confusing for you right now. So in our base classes, we've got a building base. And in here, we're going to have a variable for the power. Okay, so if we add it in, we'll call it building powered, right? We'll keep it same across the board. Doesn't matter if it's a light or whatever. Building is powered, yeah. And this will be a control variable. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to use that in the base of all our buildings for whether it's powered or not. So we're going to class this as a building. Even though it's only a light, it's still classed as a building. We're not going to use this switched on anymore. And nor this is powered. So delete. And switched on, we need switch on. That switches the light on and off. That's all that does. Switch power on. Okay, so we want to get building. We haven't set the base class. Sorry, we need to go to class settings, parent class, and we need to put in there BP building base. And it doesn't look like it's caused any issues. Nope, that's fine. Nothing's conflicting. Always check to see if there's any conflicts. Just check the output log as well. Doesn't appear that there is. Warning reparenting. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing has come up as an error. That's good. Make sure errors are on. Yeah. So this is now the same as every other building as such. So now we've got this switch on power, and it's a variable that we can now set. What did we actually call it? Building powered. There we go. So we're going to set building powered. Can't see it anywhere, but as you remember, it's in the class defaults building powered. Where is it? Is in control. There we go. Building powered, because it's in the base classes, so it won't appear here, but it is there. So there we go. And we now need to detect building power within our switch lights, because that's just disappeared here. Yeah. So set visibility of the light, switch the light. The new visibility is going to be switched on. This looks a bit backwards. Looks a bit backwards. What have I done here? So new visibility. Oh, it's disappeared because I deleted the variable. So we want to get building powered. Right. So it's not. The light will be off. And it'll be switched. Oh, this doesn't seem to be right. Let's get rid of that. So what we could do here, let's just disconnect that for a minute, bring this back. What we want to do is we want to set switched on to the switched on or off can be changed by the user. So we don't want to switch it on automatically. So we want to put switched on in the visibility. And when we switch the light, we want to check that it's powered first. And then we can switch it. Oh, I don't want to do this at the moment. This is not how I wanted it to be. For now, we're going to base it on the building power. The switching of this light will change. This is only a base class. I haven't really worked on the light at all. Again, no, I could actually. Let's just. For now, this is going to switch the light on and off. Yeah. And then we will change this at a later point. I don't really need to do that, do I? I could just drag this out of here. There we go. So that's going to switch the light on and off automatically. Yeah. But building powered. So the electrical connector will need to have a power. Oh, okay. We could rep notify this, but again, it seems that functions are defuncting the switching anyway, because we've got to create a new function anyway. So there's no point in using rep notify on some things, as we've got to use a function anyway to change them, which kind of defeats the object of rep notify. But there we go. But all we're doing is changing the way we switch things on and off using functions. Use the building powered there. I'm not going to set the building power. I'm going to set this connector base to has power, because that's what I need to do. Not has power, powered there. So in the cable, it will set. Let me find where I've done it. So enable power, we set power at this, we get the end beat actor. Oh, the end beat actor, of course we know what the end beat actor is. These shouldn't be actors. Oh, hold on. They shouldn't be actors, should they? This should be, I need to get rid of this bit of code. It's just a massive jumble of nothing that we're not using anymore. So, so there and there, yeah. Delete that one, the construction script. So it has the cable is an NB actor and an actor, and there we go. It's the connector. That's what I'm looking for. It just doesn't stand out straight away. So the the electrical connector base A and B. There we go. So it's the connector I want to change. So let's go to switch on power again, enable power. So we don't want the actor. We want to get the NB connector. And no, we're not setting it, we're getting it. There we go. And we want to set, oh, did we create a new function, didn't we, for the connector? And it's called, it's just called switch on power, isn't it? Yeah, switch on power. I don't think we're using that anymore, so delete that. That's that rep notify. Got rid of the rep notify. So we're using switch on power. So in here, the cable, sorry, we want to switch. Oh, yeah. Oh no, it's the right type, isn't it? Type electrical connector base. Oh, I've done NB actor, haven't I? I'm still not with it, am I? Get NB connector. Switch on power. According to that. Yep. Okay. Electrical connector base. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit confusing. We need to know the port direction. So when we're not checking for power, are we? No, we're not. Probably get rid of that. So switch on power. Okay, so if it's set on, blah blah blah, fine. So generator can use this, but we also need another function to detect whether it's a powered object or not. So we need to know the port direction. So we need to test for that before we set whether it's powered on or not, because otherwise we're going to conflict ourselves. And so to do that, we need to detect it in this switch on power. So when we do, if it has an input, if it's a directional input, then let's have a look at this. Is it set to input? Yep, direction input. So we're going to start using this. And the generator is, it will be selection output by default. So we don't need to detect that. So on the actual, let the cable just send the power through when it receives a message to do so. Also, yes, we need to check when we connect the cable as well, whether to send the power through or not. Because if the generator's already on, we want to do that, don't we? Let's set cable end. And so it's only on the cable end we want to do that. Set connected. And then the connected cable, we will get powered. Oop. And we want to enable power based on if the cable's connected. Yeah, so that means if the generator's already on, the power should automatically come on. That's all we've done. We've just set that out on the end of our connected cable, connect cable event for when we create a new cable. That's all it is. So when the building tool connects the cable, that's what happens. So we'll set the power. Okay, back to our electrical connector. So when the power is switched on, which will only come from a cable or a generator. We haven't got a disconnect cable yet, have we? Yeah, we need to account for that when we do a disconnect as well. Okay. So switch on power. We get the connected cable and find out if it's got power and switch it on. Yeah. So switch on E port direction. Okay. So the electrical connector, if it's an output, and if it's an input, and if it's bi-directional, and we do that by our direction here. So if it's an output direction, we set the connected cable to powered. Yeah. If it's an input, we get the connected cable, which we're doing anyway. Oh, we're setting the connected cable, yeah. And this one, we get it and we set to powered here, yeah. Ah, right, okay. This will then negate the use for putting it on the cable. How are we doing that? Switch on power. Oh yeah, we will do. Yeah, sorry, we will do. So if it's an input, which is what this one most likely is, let's have a look. We're not connecting, we're not doing the cable now, we're going to do the, so the cable comes along, we're setting it powered there. Enable power, setting powered. Trying to get this right in my head. Oh no, not there, sorry. Where am I going? Where am I going? Electrical connector and the cable, sorry, let's look at the cable. So that's on connection. So enable power. Yeah, it's just switching on power when we enable power. And it sets the target connector bases on. Ah, okay. Do we check it here? Or do we check it in there? I think we do it inside the electrical connector. So the NB here. Yeah. So if it's an output, we set the cable. If it's an input, so regardless actually, this, if we bring that over to there and that over to there, and then we can move them around and bring that to there. Okay, just bring them around a bit. Set powered. Yeah. So we've set the connector to powered. We're then going to set the cable. Right, but if it's an input, oh, we're just setting it to powered anyway, aren't we? Well, we need to still set the connector to powered. No, we don't want to set powered. There we go. Okay. So that shouldn't be done there, I don't think, because we're going to let the connector do it. Who are we? We're already doing it, aren't we? We're already setting it to powered at this end if it's a cable, and then on this one we're setting it to powered anyway. So yeah, we just only want to do this if the port direction is equal to output. We only want to set the cable because we don't want to set the cable on anything else. So let's just test the theory. Confusing myself. It's not difficult. So let's add in cable and cable. Okay. So shift and F1. I'm going to get rid of the other cable first. There we go. So we don't get confused. So cable's not powered. That's not powered. And the generator's not powered. Activate generator. Cable is powered. Field light base is not powered. Where's its powered flag? Building powered. There, it's not on. Okay, but is its connector powered? Oh. Where's its base power? Can I not see it? Have I not made it visible? Let's have a look. Components. Exposed to cinematics, but it's not actually. It's not actually viewable, is it? As such. So we want to be able to. We want to be able to view this here. But unfortunately it doesn't show up in the field light. Oh, there it is. Oh, maybe I didn't scroll far enough. Or, oh dear, 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 dear. There we go. Shift F1, field light base. There we go. Electrical connector base. Now it's not set into has power. That's good. Switch on the generator. Field base. But it doesn't have power. It's an input. Has power. Oh no. Powered. That's the one I'm looking at. It's still not correct, is it? So I want to see what happens when the connector gets to here. Let's see. So let's change the Jenny. Okay. What object are we on? That's the Jenny. Yeah, so we're getting to the generator first. So we'll step over these. Okay. Standard macro for each loop. Let's just hit play. I don't want to look at the macros for each. Just leaving them open, but right, right, direction output. So this is going to happen 4 times, I'm guessing. Output. Output. Right, it didn't get to the other one. So why didn't it get to the other one? Why did it not get to the other one? Sets if powered here, and then B sets it here. So let's F9 that. Let's take the one off that for now, and let's connect a cable. I kind of like debugging, but it's frustrating when something's not working. It's normally down to something really simple. So NB connector is there. So can we step into that? Create new cable. Comes out of that. Okay, so why didn't that set it? Oh, it wouldn't have set it on. Okay, that's fine. So let's turn the Jenny off. Deactivate. Activate. Deactivate. Activate. So it's not setting it. It's not stopping this here. So enable power. Enable power. Am I using the wrong? On the electrical cable, run enable power. So when is it doing that? Enable power. We need to do that on the electrical connector. No, we're just setting it there, aren't we? That's why. Probably this. Let's just move this out of the way. And instead we will it's called enable power, isn't it? Enable power. Okay. Based on powered. Okay. I'm going to now get rid of that and hopefully that's what it was. It's just annoying now. I'm really going to have to do it on game saves so we can automatically load a game save with all these objects in for testing. I'll try and get that to that quite soon if I can, because it gets a little bit frustrating having to connect all these up. So there we go. Let's turn on the generator. Okay, generator is on, and let's have a, oh, can't look at the light like that, can I? So field light, is it powered? Nope. Is the base powered? Yes. Perfect. So what it needs to do then is also inside this connector is, if it's an input, we now need to set, let's get rid of that, bring that up. Yeah, if it's an input, we now need to set that the building has powered. Yeah, so our parent actor is just an actor. That needs to change to a building base, doesn't it? Yeah, so we're going to say BP building. This might crash everything, let's hope it doesn't. Change variable type, and it's just there, and we just need to change the plugin there, because that one, oh, get owner, which is just an actor, right? On begin play, get owner, actor component, parent actor is a building base object. I don't want to keep having to cast it all the time, so I'm going to just do the one cast here probably. Get parents, yeah, it's just get owner, so I'm going to have to do a cast here, but I don't have to keep doing it afterwards, so I'm going to leave that as the correct type, and we'll just do cast to BP building base. Everything's going to be building base that these connect to, everything. There we go, and that will do that. Okay, compile and save. Okay, there we go. So we haven't broke it too much, so we've done that. Switch on power. If it's an input, we need to get parent actor, and we want to set building powered to the same variable as this. We might as well just bring that through there rather than putting another link to it. Oh. There we go. Right, let's see if this now works. And I'm frustrated again because it's got to make a new cable. Yes, yes, I know. I can't do them automatically without a little bit of code. I don't want to create code. Okay, let's Shift F1, go to our generator and activate it. Okay, and the building is powered. There we go. The building is powered. Okay. Now in the base class, I want a function so that when it's powered, again we have it's kind of like an event, or I guess. So yeah, so it's going to be an event. Yeah, let's make an event. So custom event, and we're going to call this building power, and the input is on. So as we call that, we then set building powered. Yeah, to whatever value it is. We then also, well, beyond that, that's by the by. So there we go. Set building power. So we'll do it that way. So let's go back to our cabling. That's the tool for cabling. Why is that open? Our cable. And are we setting anything direct? I think it's just in switch on power, isn't it? Yeah, rather than set building powered, we're going to use the event instead. So we'll drag out just so you can see the difference, and we're going to call this switch on power, which should be, no, we don't, we've got to come off the parent actor. Yeah. Oh, why is it not coming up? What have I called it? What have I called it? What have I called it? Building power. Let's rename that. No. Yeah, set building power. Okay, and set building power. Compile that. So, come off here and say, no, I've got to come off the actor, haven't I? Set building powered. Yep, and we'll put that there, that into there, and I could just, I was meant to control that, and I press ALT. Let's get rid of that one, put that in there. Okay, so that will now set whether the building's powered or not. And what we could do then in the light, in the that's that. So when we get in here, we should have an override for set building power. There it is. And we want to get its parent function. So allow it to do what it's got to do. And, oh, do I need to link those? Possibly. I don't think it'll make a difference because they are basically the same variable. And actually, no, let's not link them and see if it works without. I don't think we do need to link them. So we set the building power, and then we want to switch the light if it's on or off. So we're not using tick anymore. Let's see if that gets through. So connect our cable to there, and Shift and F1, not just F1. Get our generator and switch it on, and come to our light, and the building is powered, but it's not activated. Am I doing that in something wrong there? Building is powered, but the light, visible, isn't it? There, visible. Okay, it's not switching the lights on. That's something I've got to check. Let's have a look. Switch light. So we know the building power is working because it's doing that. Switch light. So we get the building power switched on. Do we need to use activated? What was the activated for? I think that's just a general building. Yeah. So new visibility. Okay. Is it not getting through to here? Switched light. We're switching switch power, and then we're switching switch light. Let's get into switch light, and we'll hit this here and wonder what's going on. Again, debug, debug, debug. Okay. Look at it, we haven't changed a lot. It's been a little bit messy, but we haven't changed a lot. I will put these files to say up for download very shortly so that we can all be reading from the same page, so you've got all the same things. What that will do is give you this generator, but I am bothered about that. It's just not finished. That was the only reason I didn't give anyone, because it's not finished. It's just a base object to make it look a little bit prettier. So what are we doing? Shift F1. Let's turn the generator on, and the light, rec light. Okay, so that is working, but we're not. We didn't get through to that function. Why didn't we get through to that function? Set building power. Yeah, and it just sets that. Oh yeah, okay. We need to switch the light on, don't we, from the set building power? Oh, are we doing that? Set building power. Field light base, parent graph, set building power, change, switch light. So we're automatically changing the variable in the background. Let's see what happens when we get here then. I'll find out what's going on. It's all fun and games, isn't it? All fun and games. And I should actually assign a key to that generator, shouldn't I? Or have it on automatically. Just to make it a little bit easier. We're not getting to it. Okay, why are we not getting to it? So it's in here. If it's an input, so it's there. But it is setting the building powered, isn't it? We're not doing it inside the cable as well, are we? Yes, we are. Enable power. Let's see what happens when I disconnect this. So enable power on the cable, but we don't want to send anything through to the end connector at the moment. Electrical connector base. Oh no, that's what we're using here, isn't it? Switch on power. Yeah, so we do need that. Switch on power. So we get through to here. Yeah, switch on power. And electrical connector base. Let's... we're setting building powered, aren't we? That's not what we want, is it? Oh no, it is. That is the... No, it's not. What have I done here? That's not what I wanted, was it? It was set building power. I've used such close names, I'm confusing myself completely. So in here, right, let's just delete that. Set building... No, I need to come off the actor, sorry, my apologies. Set building power function. There we go. Well, not a function, it's actually an event. Fire that, and that goes in there. Bring you up, bring you down. There we go. There we go. Much better. Much better. Let's get... Oh, I'll probably put a load of stops now in different places, haven't I? Or have I got rid of them? There it is. That should now fire. My apologies. My apologies. So, oh, wrong tool. Okay, let's get rid of that and set it on. Okay, so that fired through, but the light didn't come on. I need to check out why. So Shift F1, field light base, building powered. It's not powered. Okay, so let's check here. Set building powered, and it sets the building powered. So on here, set building power, do its parent event. Okay. Does that need to be connected to make sure? That's possible. It is possible. Maybe there is something in there that needs to be done. Let's see if I can... Yeah, look at that. So, let's now turn on the generator. There we go. There we go. Finally got there. So, we've made this a lot cleaner now, and we need to go and clean up our code for the rest of it. So in here, set connections is that ever used, was it? Let's have a look. Find references. Yeah, that's never used now. We used to use that in the construction script, but it's not used anymore. So yeah, that's done with. That's done with. It came into these now, the connections, so we can delete that. We have no event tick. We have no begin play. In fact, we could completely delete those because we don't need them. Yeah, cleans up our event graph. There's nothing in the construction script. Check for power is no longer used. So if I find references, no, just itself. So check for power is gone. And then enable power is all that we need. Yeah. So if we enable the power, that's all we need. That's just took all of the processing off this cable completely. The only processing it does, it just sends the cable data through. Make sure, I'll go make sure this switch on power on connect cable end is the right one. I've got enable power there on the cable. Is that the one we use? I can't see this is the cable. Enable power. Switch on power. Oh yeah, it just calls the function directly. Yeah, that's better. Nice and clean. So yeah, we now have a dumb cable as such. And now what I want to do is let's see if this cable works. No, let's get rid of that. Let's turn the Jenny on first. So the generator is now on. Yeah. And obviously the light's not on because it's not connected. So if I do this now, set that and that. Right. Nothing's happening. Now the reason is that cable doesn't know it's got power because let's get rid of that. Oh, dumb. Let's turn the generator on again. I was trying to get rid of that other one and I hit end. There we go. So the generator is on, but the cable doesn't know it's got power, I guess. No, it doesn't. So we also need to check for that when we connect the cable. So we've done the other end, sending it through, but what we haven't done is we haven't told the cable that when we're connecting it at the start, whether it's powered or not. Yeah, so we've set that it's connected. Yeah, but we also need to set if it's powered or not. And to do that, we just need to detect whether it's powered or not. Now, how do we set that? With enable power. Yeah, so we set that base there by getting. Ooh, I've lost what I'm doing. Cable start. There we go. Yeah, so we do that here. So basically, we get no, it's not the connected cable we want, is it? It's get and a connector. Have we already validated NDA? We haven't really validated NDA, but it must have been done before we did the cable start, I would guess, so it should be valid. So for now, we're going to take that risk. And we want to get powered. I need to delete that has power. Really do need to delete that. Let's save and compile that. Electrical connector. Let's get rid of this. Let's find out where it's used. Find references. It's in check for power, and it's in that. So it's twice in check for power, and obviously it's going to do the same here. Yeah, it's not used at all. So let's get rid of that stupid extra variable. In fact, we need to get rid of this first. Check for power. Check for power is not being used on the electrical connector anymore. Okay. Everything's going to happen when an event fires. So we can find out where used, not, cool, delete, save. Okay, check for power, not used, delete. Okay, there we go. Oop. So now I should be able to have no references to that has power in the connector here. None found. Yep, none found. So delete, gone. That's going to clear up a little bit more on there. So where was we? Electrical cable. We were setting the electrical cable on our custom events connect cable start. Yep. So we're going to connect the cable start, and we're going to change the power based on whether the end A is powered or not. So all we need to do then is get end connector B. Well, that's a get, and we want to set. No, it's not. Switch on power. There we go. Based on whether the connector is connected or not. So now, fingers crossed, this should automatically switch on the light if there's power to the Jenny. In theory, you know what this is like. So this has gone on way too long. I need to start shortening these. It's actually about the generator. Let's add the connector in and in, and it didn't work. Oh, why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Oh, right. Okay, access non-reading NB connector. Okay, we don't have an NB connector. Let's in here. So we can't get the NB connector. Oh, because we don't have one. So this is where it should be. It should be done at the end, shouldn't it? Okay, my bad. Yeah, we can't set it until we've got something. So we're checking that the cables has power first, and connected cable and a connector. No, we don't need it from there, and we don't need it from there. Okay, we just want to set the NB connector if this is powered. Oh, hold on, it's kind of doing it here, isn't it? Enable power. Gets the NB connector and switches it on. Oh, okay. Why is it not working? Okay, so all this messing about, I've actually got the code there already. I don't need to do that. So connected cable, set the connected cable to whether it's powered or not. Ah, is it powered? Are we not setting the cable to powered, are we? So that's what we need to put on here. That's right. Okay, so we want the end A connector, and we want to get powered. Yeah, and we need to set powered. Yeah, so if it's already connected, we need to set it. Yeah, like so. So now we've automatically set the cable to on if it is on, and we can have a look. Turn the Jenny on, and connect, and shift F1. That is that cable powered. Brilliant. And then come to here, connect, and the light comes straight on. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Done. Just missing a little bit of code in the wrong place. So yeah, that's kind of now made the cable more dumb. The cable sends a message through, yes, but it doesn't tick at all. It doesn't need to tick. And it took a lot of extra code off that we don't need. So now this is a lot more tidy. There's a lot less code in here in the cable. So I'm going to close that. Now, that's the first person. The electrical connector, all we've got is a function. Switch on. We don't need that. And we don't need that. And all we do is set what details it needs to on the begin play. And all the rest is done using a function when it needs to be called. Yeah? Brilliant. Fantastic even. Okay, so the chances are I probably don't need a rep notify event at all on the generator, which I will get rid of. So the building base now, it doesn't need to check for power or anything like that. Set building power, the event tick is gone. Begin play out, but yeah, so we've got rid of a lot of crap in most of these. So let's save that. And the light base is just an extension of building base, and the generator base. Okay, so we no need we don't need this rep notify, and the reason we don't need this rep notify now is because we are basically doing this when we use that custom event here, this activate generator. So that's what we can use to call that custom event, and not this rep be activated. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy all of this, including this, Control X and into activate generator, and all we do is toggle the activation or not, and we then hop that in as well. So we don't need the rep notify. So now if I delete the rep notify and if I turn off the rep notify unactivated, there we go. Oh, that's a problem. Input pin parent actor is missing. Please refresh node or reset pin to default. Reset to default value. Okay. There we go. Sometimes get things like that because we've removed something. So now we've got rid of that rep notify. There's nothing in there. Delete it. Rep notify was probably a really good option, but as it doesn't seem to activate across objects, then save, compile, file, save all. There we go. Yeah, we've had to use just use functions, which kind of work no differently when rep notify has to have a function anyway. So why not just use the function? So that's what we've learned today. Rep notify in a single player doesn't actually benefit in the way you would hope, because it doesn't work across the board. It only works within its own actor. It doesn't work across actors. So if another actor triggers a change in a variable, it doesn't rep notify, which is annoying. So we're just using functions, and it's took off a lot of code off our tick. How much that's optimized, I don't know, but it works, and that's the thing. And we have a working cable. So I just want to give out a shout out to Kind Clouds, who is a subscribed YouTuber and also a member of the Discord channel, for bringing up an issue we couldn't quite work out. There was a slight bit of difference in his code to mine, but it just prompted me to actually get this video done and just eliminate the need for all that replicated code and on tick, check this, check that, just to see if yeah, just to see if there was power along a cable. So yeah, it just helped me prod that along. So thank you very much, Kind Clouds, and thank you all of you who are subscribed. There is 51 of you at this moment in talking, and you know, yeah, please subscribe, like, join the Discord, put some comments in. Any feedback would be appreciated, even if it's constructive criticism. You know, I don't mean coming up and saying, "Oh, you're a load of rubbish." Don't get me wrong. What I do is not always perfect, and there is a lot of different ways of going around things, and I may get some things wrong as well, which you've seen. And I'm sure you all do the same sort of thing. But constructive criticism, saying, "Oh, that didn't quite work the way it should. Well, maybe you should use this." That would be fantastic, because yeah, you can't think of everything. You can't think of everything, and there is better ways, and sometimes there is different ways as well, which are not necessarily better or worse. There is different. Everyone's mind works different, and you know, it's just the way life is, isn't it? So thank you, all of you, and I'd like to see you all again, hopefully in the next episode, when I will probably carry on and look a bit more at the minor again. So yeah, we'll go back to that. So thank you all for watching yet again, and I'll see you soon. Take care and goodbye.